Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Aqilah binti Abdul Aziz. My matrix number is 01DKA21F1034. Definition: slope. A slope is an exposed surface on the ground that forms an edge to the horizon. Usually, failure is associated with steep slope condition, but this is not true, as there are many cases of slope failure that occur on sloping slopes. This situation shows that the stability of a slope depends on many factors other than the angles of inclination. Most slopes are designed for certain by identifying aspects of safety, economy, and maintenance. Now, I will tell you the objective of slope failure. The first objective is identify the types of slope failure. Second is identify the process of slope failure. And lastly is identify the factor that causes slope failure. Now, I will tell you the types of slope failure. For a homogeneous clay slope, a form of failure which occurs found to be shaped like an circle, while for non-homogeneous soil, the surface, the slider may not be round in shape. Type of slope failure can be divided into: first is translation failure, second is rotational failure, third is wedge failure, and lastly is compound failure. Translation failure. Translation failure occurs in the case of infinite slopes, and here the failure surface is parallel to the slope surface. A slope is said to be infinite when the slope has no definite boundaries and soil under the free surface contains the same properties up to identical tip along the slope. As said above, when the soil along the slope have similar properties up to a certain depth and soil below this layer is strong or hard stratum, the weak topsoil will form a parallel slip surface when filled. Now, I will tell you about rotation failure. In the case of rotation failure, the failure occurs by rotation along a slip surface, and the shape thus obtained in slip surface in curve. Failed surface move outward and downward. In homogeneous soil, the shape is circular, while in case of non-homogeneous soil, it is not circular. Rotation failure may occur in three different ways. The first is face failure or slope failure, second is toe failure, and third is base failure. Face failure occurs when soil above the third certain weight stratum. In this case, the failure plane intersects the slope above toe. Toe failure is the most common failure, is which failure plane passes through toe of slope. Next is wedge failure. Wedge failure, also known as block failure or plane failure, generates a failure plane that is inclined. This type of failure occurs when there are fissure, joint, or weak soil layer in slope, or when a slope is made of two different materials. It is more similar to translation failure, but the difference is that translation failure only occurs in the case of infinite slope, but wedge failure can occur in both infinite and infinite slope. And then compound failure. A compound failure is a combination of translation slide and rotation slide. In this case, the slip surface is curved at 2 and light rotation slip surface and flat at central portion, like in translation failure. The slip surface becomes flat whenever there is a hard soil layer at a considerable depth from toe. Now, I will tell you about a process of slope failure. The first process is rainwater. Drops and drops of rainwater either directly or indirectly will act on the exposed surface of the earth through the process of action of rainwater itself. Heavy rainwater droplets with the size of heavy rainwater droplets will act on the exposed lead-rich soil surface. Second is infiltration. The actions of water infiltration into the pore cavity space depend on the type of soil and the shape of the slope. The type of sandy soil and sloping slope will accelerate the action of water infiltration into the large soil cavity. And lastly is saturation. Soil saturation affects the amount of rainwater to infiltrate into the soil layer further down. Still face water flow decrease. Now I will present about the factors that cause slope failure. The factors that cause slope failure have two. The first is physical gradient. The surface gradient will affect the water infiltration rate. The steeper the slope, the higher the infiltration rate occur if the slope is more than 2% because surface runoffs occur. And second is harmonization. Through area linking activity will be cut down and destroyed in various ways. Deforestation will reduce the process of raindrops used in agriculture and provide accommodation for indigenous people living in the area. Okay, now I will show you the article The Phenomenon of Slope Failure in Ampang. The article above shows the three largest landslides in Ampang. The location of the landslide that occurred is in Bukit Permai to Ampang. Landslides are no longer unfamiliar to residents around the Ampang and Hulu Hangat areas as the incidents are becoming more frequent and can take life and endanger residents. The unfortunate situation of snow smell can happen in the blink of an eye and certainly worries every resident who feel they are not safe in their own home. And lastly is conclusion. In conclusion, it can be concluded that the slope in the area of the Villa Ring is considered less stable due to the slope condition and several factors found in the villa. Therefore, serious measures must be taken by all parties so that the physical and human environment can enjoy a better life and the next safe can preserve this treasure for future generations.